ancient Persia, 486 BC. King Xerxes ruled the Persian Empire, but the man who whispered in his ear was Haman. Haman wasn't just an advisor, he was the Grand Vizier, the second most powerful man in the world. When he walked through the streets, everyone was required to bow. But one day, a Jewish man named Mordecai refused to bow. Haman was furious. He convinced Xerxes to issue an order. On a specific date, all Jews in the empire would be killed. But Haman had a problem. He didn't know Queen Esther was Jewish. Mordecai was her cousin. When he learned of Haman's plan, he sent a secret message to the queen. Then Esther waited. She hosted elaborate banquets. Night after night, she gained the king's trust. Then she made her move. At the final banquet, she revealed everything: her Jewish identity, Haman's genocide order, and evidence that Haman was embezzling from the royal treasury. Xerxes was furious. He ordered Haman hanged on the same gallows Haman built for Mordecai, a structure 75 feet high, visible across the entire city.
Yeah, when you build your own execution device, maybe rethink your life choices.
But Esther wasn't finished. Haman's 10 sons had copies of the genocide orders. They would continue their father's plan. Esther demanded their death as well. All 10 were found hanging the next morning. When Jewish scribes recorded the story centuries later, something strange happened. In the verses listing Haman's 10 sons, 3 Hebrew letters were written smaller than usual: Tav, Shin, and Zayin. One letter was written large, Vav. In Hebrew, letters have numerical values. The small letters add up to 707. The large letter equals 6. Together, they form the Jewish year 5707. On our calendar, that's 1946. The scribes were encoding a date. The pattern Esther established, 10 enemies hanged for attempting genocide, would repeat. And just as prophecy said, it would repeat on October 1946. When Jewish scribes recorded the Book of Esther 2,400 years ago, they encoded a date in Hebrew letters, the Jewish year 5707, October 1946. That exact month, in Nuremberg, Germany, several Nazi leaders were sentenced to death by hanging. 2 hours before the executions, Hermann Goering bit down on a cyanide capsule in his cell. He took his own life. That left 10. The executions began just after 1 a.m., and one by one, Nazi war criminals climbed 13 steps to the gallows, the same number of steps Haman built. Each man was asked for final words. Julius Streicher was 9th. He looked at the witnesses. His last words: Purim Fest, 1946. Purim is the Jewish holiday celebrating Queen Esther's victory over Haman. Streicher knew exactly what was happening. He was fulfilling a 2,400-year-old prophecy. Hitler knew it too. In 1944, he warned his officers that if Germany lost, the Jews would celebrate a second Purim. He knew the pattern. He just thought he could break it. By dawn on October 16th, all 10 bodies were cut down. Not 9, not 11. 10 Nazi war criminals hanged for genocide, the same number as Haman's sons. The same crime, the same punishment. The prophecy demanded it. The Hebrew letters in the Book of Esther weren't a warning, they were an instruction, an ancient pattern that couldn't be broken. The Nazis spent years trying to manufacture their own destiny. They edited prophecies, murdered astrologers. But in the end, the only prophecy that mattered was the one they tried to destroy, a Jewish text. But the pattern returned, and the prophecy was fulfilled, exactly as it was predicted 2,400 years ago.